Hello YouTube world, it's your boy Big Boy Snatch on TV, aka what kind of snacks you want, cause I got plenty going around. As you can tell by the title of the thumbnail in the video, this is my WWE Raw review and highlights. So if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys please watch the entire video from all the way from the beginning or towards the end. Hit that like button, subscribe to my channel for my rest of content I do on the channel, cause I'm on the road to 12K before the end of April. Follow my social media down below in the description, and go check out my WWE Elimination Chamber review and highlights that I did on the channel yesterday, cause it was a pretty good show. And I give that a 6 out of 10. Alright, without further ado, let's get started. Now, WWE Raw was a decent show, and I give it a 5 out of 10. WWE Raw was live from Indianapolis, Indiana, Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Alright, commentary were Michael Cole and Corey Graves. Then, now, forever together, the WWE leads us into the show. Video highlights from this past weekend's WWE Elimination Chamber event are shown. Pre-show arrivals: World Heavyweight Champion CM Punk and the WWE Women's Intercontinental Champion AJ Lee arrived together. The Judgment Day is showing arriving without Finn Balor. Gunther will be in action against Dragon Lee tonight. Tonight, Roman Reigns will return live. The Vision kicks off the show. This was a good segment to kick off the show. Paul Heyman comes to the ring with Logan Paul and Austin Theory. Paul Heyman introduced himself and the Vision members. This is supposed to be when someone comes out and says, "Welcome to Monday Night Raw." They're supposed to say, "Live from Indianapolis, Indiana." Paul Heyman hates this piss on everyone parade, but excuse him while he wipes this out. He is here tonight to talk about Seth freaking Rollins. Seth freaking Rollins is the single biggest thief in the history of this business. The crowd starts to sing Seth Rollins' theme, and Paul Heyman angrily stops talking. Paul Heyman says he hates that song as well as Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins stole the credit for Cole finding the vision for him. Seth Rollins isn't worth of that credit. Seth Rollins stole that credit for Cole finding the Shield. But that's not Paul Heyman's problem. The problem is Seth Rollins stole the Elimination Chamber in the main event of WrestleMania from Logan Paul. Seth Rollins steals oxygen from every human being on the face of this planet. Who is worth of living? Mr. Lynch is not one of them. They are going to do something about it. That next time Seth Rollins is in a WWE ring, they are going to stomp his you-know-what out. That's not a prediction or a spoiler. That is a personal guarantee from the three of them in the vision. Austin Theory grabs the microphone and says, Here's my theory, and let's see if all you idiots can follow me." Austin Theory says he goes back with Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins isn't going for it, especially after what he did to Logan Paul. The crowd chants, "You suck." Austin Theory says Seth Rollins isn't in the ring, so they can't chant that. Logan Paul takes the microphone and shouts, Seth Rollins, "You scumbag, Paul! You scumbag, Paul!" Logan Paul eliminates 3 people in the Elimination Chamber before Seth Rollins stole the victory from him. The last person who did that was Brock Lesnar. That's the kind of company Paul keeps. The rest of the show isn't happening until Seth freaking Rollins comes out and answers for this. The Raw General Manager Adam Pearce comes out. Adam Pearce is with security. Adam Pearce says he knows the Vision wants to take the show hostage and knows they're responsible for hurting Jey Uso on Friday. Paul Heyman says they had nothing to do with that. They had nothing to do with what happened to Jey Uso. They can plead guilty in advance for what they'll do to Seth freaking Rollins. Paul Heyman throws the microphone at Adam Pearce. Adam Pearce says he needs to have a conversation with Seth Rollins, but he can't do it with the 3 of them in the ring. Adam Pearce needs to talk to Seth Rollins because he is not medically cleared to compete. A masked man jumps the barricade, a masked man jumps the barricade, but security quickly chases him away. Another one hops the barricade, and Logan Paul chases him off. A third masked man lures Austin Theory away. Paul Heyman is left all alone in the ring and looks nervous. Another masked man walks down the aisle and Paul Heyman starts to bag him off, thinking he's Seth Rollins. Yet another masked man steps onto the ring apron. Paul Heyman and removes his mask. It's Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins gets in the ring and smashes Paul Heyman on the back with a steel chair. Paul Heyman renders in pain on the mat. Seth Rollins backs up and signs him up. Paul Heyman gets on his hands and knees, and Seth Rollins crushes him with a curb stomp. The crowd sings Seth Rollins' song as he looks around. Seth Rollins then leaves through the crowd. EMTs and WWE producers run down to check on the unconscious Paul Heyman. This was the best part about Monday Night Raw. When Seth Rollins hit Paul Heyman with the chair and a curb stomp. Now Seth Rollins hit Logan Paul with the curb stomp at Elimination Chamber last night. So Seth Rollins already got Logan Paul, Paul Heyman. The only thing he needs to get is Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, and Austin Theory to do the same thing. And that's all I gotta say. But good on Seth Rollins. I was so glad that Seth Rollins was on Raw tonight. Good on Seth Rollins. All right. So we go to commercial break. During the commercial break, Paul Heyman was helped out of the arena. He's bleeding profusely from his nose. Parking garage segment. A bleeding Paul Heyman is put on a stretcher and loaded into an ambulance. Logan Paul and Austin Theory come over to check on him. Paul Heyman runs off to get a car. Austin Theory leaves the ambulance and closes the door. Austin Theory goes over to an SUV and Jimmy Uso attacks him. Jey Uso sends him into the bunch of crates and goes over to the ambulance. LA Knight is revealed to be the driver of the ambulance. LA Knight says, "Don't worry, boys. I'll make sure you get the help he needs." Yeah, LA Knight drives off in the ambulance. In the arena, the ring general Gunther makes his way to the ring. As he does, his opponent for the evening, Dragon Lee, attacks him from behind. Boy, Dragon Lee was standing on business against Gunther. But anyway, Dragon Lee punches Gunther down to the ring and punches his way at him. Gunther slides out of the ring, so Dragon Lee hits a baseball slide. Dragon Lee continues to attack him and charge, but Gunther gives him a back body drop into the timekeeper's arrow. This is right before the bell rings, and I'm glad Dragon Lee stood on business against Gunther before the bell rings. Alright, so we go to commercial break. So we get the ring general Gunther versus Dragon Lee. And this match right here, I might as well say this match wasn't bad, but I might as well say this was a pretty good match for what it was. We joined this match in progress. Gunther is applying a weird chin lock and ripping at the mask. Dragon Lee fights him, so Gunther stomps the spine. Dragon Lee fights back, so Gunther chops him down. Gunther kicks him in the back. Gunther grabs him, but Dragon Lee punches away and hits the ropes. But Gunther smashes him with a big boot. Gunther talks trash and starts to rip at his mask. Gunther tries to take the mask off, but he lets him go. Gunther sends him into the ropes, but he lowers his head and eats a kick. Dragon Lee punches away at him and hits the ropes, but Gunther turns him inside out with a vicious lariat. Gunther sets up for a powerbomb, but Dragon Lee continues with a hurricanrana into a cradle for a 2 count. Gunther quickly gets him to the apron and chops him down. Gunther goes for a sleeper hold on the apron, but Dragon Lee slides out and bounces him off the top turnbuckle. Dragon Lee keeps around Gunther and sidesteps him as he was attempting a big boot, trying Gunther on the top rope. Dragon Lee attacks him with a kick and a drop kick him out of the ring. Dragon Lee goes for a suicide dive into a DDT, but Gunther catches him and he throws him hard into the apron. So we go to commercial break. Back from commercial break, Dragon Lee starts to chop at Gunther's chest. Gunther rocks him with a punch and goes for a powerbomb, but Dragon Lee gets out. Dragon Lee kicks him in the face and tries for some clotheslines, but Gunther doesn't go down. Dragon Lee flips through a clothesline from Gunther and tries to land on his feet from a back body drop. But he doesn't stick the landing. Dragon Lee knocks him to the corner and goes for a Operation Dragon, but Gunther counters with a version of the Emerald Fusion for a near fall. Gunther sets up for a powerbomb and connects with it. Gunther looks all nicks up, knocked up, and look around at the crowd. Gunther hits a vicious second powerbomb and cover 1-2. Gunther pulls his shoulders off the mat. Gunther kicks the lifeless Dragon Lee out of the ring. Gunther then hits a powerbomb before hitting a powerbomb on the commentary table. The table doesn't break. The referee starts counting him out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Gunther sees him moving, so Gunther leaves the ring and grabs him. Gunther goes for a powerbomb on the floor, but Dragon Lee counters with the code red on the floor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Dragon Lee gets in the ring at 8. Gunther tries to get in the ring, but Dragon Lee knocks him away. Dragon Lee hits a big suicide dive into the commentary table. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Dragon Lee hits Gunther with Operation Dragon on the floor and gets in the ring. 6, 7, 8, 9. Gunther barely makes it into the ring. Gunther has never lost a non-title singles match. Dragon Lee attacks Gunther and takes him down with a series of clotheslines. Dragon Lee is fired up and goes for the Operation Dragon, but Dragon Lee blocks it. Gunther applies the sleeper hold and rips off his mask. Dragon Lee covers his face and taps out. The winner by submission, the ring general Gunther. This was a good match, man, but Dragon Lee should have won. Alright, let's move on. So we go to backstage segment. Asuka is yelling at Kairi over losing the Elimination Chamber. Asuka is furious that Kairi didn't qualify for the match to help her. Kairi is crying and says she did good. Asuka grabs her by the throat and shows her. WWE Women's Intercontinental Champion AJ Lee sees Kairi, who is staring into the distance, unblinkable. AJ Lee asks if she needs help, but Kairi is unresponsive. Asuka then screams Kairi. Kairi walks off like a zombie. We hear from AJ Lee next. The WWE Hall of Fame is coming on Friday, April 17th, featuring the inductees Stephanie McMahon, AJ Styles, and Demolition, Axe, and Smash. Alright, so we hear from Dragon Lee. Let's light it up. Back at ringside, AJ Lee makes her way out to a big pop from the Indianapolis crowd, and as the new Women's Intercontinental Champion head to the ring. Commentary talks about Becky Lynch protests over losing the belt as Dragon Lee steps into the ring with a microphone. She says she's not entirely sure how we got here. AJ Lee came back to WWE probably to snatch the hair off of Becky Lynch's pretty little head, and somehow she managed to snatch the title for herself, for her as well. She wasn't sure if she was able to go as the crowd chants, "You deserve it," which she acknowledged that believes in her. had her back for a decade. They remember AJ Lee when some people would wish they would forget, and they believe she will fight the very best. That is exactly why Becky Lynch is the best of the best. But AJ Lee beat her, even though Becky Lynch gave her the fight of her life. AJ Lee proved to herself that she can be champion material. She is exactly who she thinks she is. Not that Becky Lynch Boo Boo is behind her. WrestleMania is in front, but AJ Lee is not waiting until then. No, she's going to be a fighting champion. It's been 12 years long. It's been 12 long years since she was able, and she's not going to waste any time. A couple weeks ago, she mentioned there were some women she wanted to get her hands on, and now that she is a champion, she knows there's are some that want to get their hands on her. So if any of the women want a shot at the title, favorite wrestler, come at me. This gets a pop. As she says, the next time she's standing in this ring, she will defend the Women's Intercontinental Championship. So ladies, show me what you got. So AJ Lee music hits as she posed with the title. Ad for WWE 2K28 and all four editions of it. Now I guarantee you, in WWE 2K27, that house is going to be a pre-order bonus. Mark my words. Watch I tell you. And I'm calling it straight down the middle. That dang house is going to be a pre-order bonus on the WWE 2K27. Watch I tell you. Alright. Earlier today, original El Grande Americano hypes up Penta ahead of his Intercontinental Championship match against Dominic Mysterio, as if they were feuding months ago. Penta says Americano knows him. Cero Miedo. He walks off as the another Americanos confronted the original with Grande addressing the fact that original took his shot at the AAA Ray D Rays. Original wants a shot at one of his amigos tonight. We head back to ringside as the original El Grande Americano makes his entrance, and he faces Rayo Americano up next. So go to commercial break. WWE World returns to Las Vegas. So hashtag 3/16/26. Alright. We get a vengeance from Liv Morgan who said Stephanie McCure doesn't know a thing about her. One thing Stephanie McCure was right about is that she's privileged. She's sorry for the advantage she had, but she is because she's a star and doesn't focus on the past. Unlike Stephanie McCure, she wants, but she sees how talented the champion is. She'll do anything for her. She'll do anything for Stephanie by giving her her privilege of stepping on the ring and stepping in the ring with the greatest Royal Rumble winner of all time, the inaugural Women's Crown Jewel champion, the Liv Morgan. Alright. We head back to ringside to join the match in progress. So we get the original Grande Americano versus Rayo Americano. This match was okay for what it was. The original quickly takes Rayo to the mat with a drop toe. He goes to work on Rayo until the latter leaves the leaves the ring for a breather. Regrouping with his buddies, Rayo gets back into the ring, but is quickly taken down by the man by the original. He escapes the ring, forcing original to deal with Bravo and Grande before Rayo takes him out with a dive as we go to commercial break. So we're back from break. Original Americano lands a fury of offense Rayo before the latter responds with a kick to knock him back. Rayo leans to the center as Original goes after him, but he's taken to the mat before catching Rayo with an avalanche belly to belly suplex for a 2 count. Original showed some frustrations about those imposters as he goes after the mask of Rayo, only to have Bravo try. He says Bravo mask and this allows Rayo to take him down for a headbutt off the top, but that only gets a near fall as well. Now it's Rayo going after the mask of Original, but he knocked back. El Grande Americano goes to the apron, but finds Original going after his mask now, only for Bravo to intercept him. Rayo sees an opening and goes to the attack, but Original Americano knocks him into Bravo, but hitting a roll into a German suplex for the win. The winner of the match by pinfall, the Original El Grande Americano. Alright, this match was okay for what it was. The bell rings as we celebrate. Original celebrates as we get a number that WrestleMania 42. We'll see the first hour of night 1 on ESPN and 2, and the first hour of night 2 on ESPN. Benches with Penta running down Dominic Mysterio, promising to make history tonight when he becomes the new Intercontinental Champion. Because he is Penta and Seattle Miedo. So we go to commercial break. Backstage segment. Backstage, the Judgment Day. Yeah, the Judgment Day have a chat until Finn Balor comes in. They address Finn Balor losing that Elimination Chamber, but providing to Dominic Mysterio fending off his title as he wants to make sure they're gonna be out there tonight. Finn Balor thought Dominic Mysterio was going to do this on his own, and Dominic claims that he wanted them to be there to celebrate Dominic Mysterio. They confront. They're to celebrate him returning to the Live. Confronts that they are a family with a hug, and we cut away. Sneak peek. Royce Keys addresses more of his personal life on what's your story with Stephanie McMahon. Planet Fitness parents, the Miz fallen victim, Dorilla and over family. Pick up a win over the former WWE champion. Back at ringside, Rusev is tired of hearing about Over Family. He knows Over Family is backstage and they both won a fight. So how about right now? The Lion Bulgaria calls out the Nigerian ruler, and Rusev is not moving away from the table. Moving. It says, and Rusev is not moving away. Okay, from this table until he shows up. You can go ahead and ask your daddy Adam Pearce if that's okay. It seems the old family doesn't need to do that as he makes his entrance. Oval family stares Rusev down as he enters the ring, and Rusev continues to just stands on the announcer table as Oval family has a mic. Oval family says that Russo spent all this time talking. Why don't you do something? Russo drops off the announcer table, stepping into the ring to mouth up with Oval family, and they started trading shots. And each other, Oval family sends Russo to the corner and looks for a chokeslam, but Russo breaks free to land some shots of his own. He hits the ropes but turns into a chokeslam, and the ruler who sends the line of Burger on to the outside. Russo retreats up the ramp as he shouts at Oval family, who gets some more of Russo as we cut to backstage. So we go to backstage segment. Bailey and Lyra Cure talk about WrestleMania 42, with Lyra Cure struggling that Bailey should challenge AJ Lee to get her ticket to WrestleMania 42. Bailey likes the idea, but says they should both go to Adam Pearce to steal their case. They head to the office of the Raw GM Aziel Sky Raw GM Aziel Sky steps out, starting the pair down on her way out. So I know that Rhea Ripley and Io Sky are pissed off that they lost the Women's Tag Team Champions to Nia Jackson last night. I know they're so pissed off. Back at ringside, Jimmy Uso makes his entrance as he faces Austin Theory up next. So we go to commercial break. Thank you to Alice for covering the show since the AJ Lee segment. Had an unpredicted incident with my parked car. Luckily, to work with such great people who can hop right in. Alright, so we get the next match. So we get the World Tag Team Champion Jimmy Uso versus Austin Theory. And this match didn't even take too long. This was a quick match. The bell rings and Jimmy Uso quickly takes it to Austin Theory. Austin Theory needs him in the midsection and knocks him to the corner, but Jimmy Uso boots him back. Jimmy Uso comes off the metal rope with a flying forearm. Austin Theory avoids an avalanche and throws him down before hitting a right hand to the jaw. Austin Theory continues to punch away at Jimmy Uso's face and taunts the crowd. Jimmy Uso responds with an uppercut and clotheslines him over the top rope. Jimmy Uso then hits him with a big suicide dive. Jimmy Uso bounces Austin Theory off the commentary table and the steel steps. Jimmy Uso super kicks Austin Theory down and gets in the ring. To reset the referee's count, Jimmy Uso clears off the commentary table and ducks a clothesline from Austin Theory. Jimmy Uso super kicks Austin Theory on the table and goes to the top rope. Jimmy Uso comes off as Logan Paul Logan Paul turns down. Jimmy Uso hits a crossbody block on Logan Paul and punches him away. Austin Theory runs in, but Jimmy Uso takes him down and punches him. Logan Paul then attacks Jimmy Uso. The winner by disqualification, Jimmy Uso. This was a quick match. Austin Theory and Logan Paul double team Jimmy Uso until the main event. Jey Uso hits. Jey Uso sneaks up and gives his brother one of his crutches. They then attack Logan Paul and Austin Theory with the crutch. The Usos hit Logan Paul with a double team clothesline only to top on over the top rope. I'm sorry. They then hit Austin Theory with the 1D. The Usos stand tall. The way that Jey Uso came out, bro, the Usos was standing on business against the Vision. So I'm glad Jey Uso got his get back on Austin Theory, because Austin Theory did attack Jey Uso on SmackDown. That's all I gotta say. A video package. A video cuts in with CM Punk setting up for a pop bomb promo. Backstage segment. Raw General Manager Adam Pearce is on the phone when he turns to see Danhausen. Danhausen thinks he's Stone Cold Steve Austin. Adam Pearce looks confused. Danhausen says he debuted a thunderous applause and cheers. He has something demand Danhausen. Danhausen wants a blimp. A Hall of Fame induction for this year, and personally assistant a personal camera boy Triple H pointing a photo in his face on a truck. He gives Adam Pearce the list. Adam Pearce wonders why it's soggy. Danhausen says it fell in a toilet. I would have threw that paper down on the floor. That's all I gotta say. The Judgment Day walks by, so Adam Pearce stops them and introduce them to Danhausen. Danhausen gets Finn Balor and Dirty Dominic Mysterio, but he can't remember JD Madonna's name. Danhausen says he wants one of Dominic Mysterio's titles, but Dominic Mysterio says that's as close as he ever gets to them. Dominic Mysterio tells him to go before something bad happens. Danhausen isn't happy and curse Dominic Mysterio. They chuckle and turn back, but Danhausen has disappeared. So you already knew that Dominic Mysterio was going to drop the title to Penta, and I'm glad Penta got his moment. Coming up next, Dominic Mysterio will defend the WWE Intercontinental Championship against Penta. So we go to commercial break. So we get Rhea Ripley prepared for Jade Cargill. Jackie Redmond is on the stage and introduces Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley comes out with Io Sky. Jackie Redmond congratulates Rhea Ripley on winning the Elimination Chamber and stamping her ticket to WrestleMania 42. How does she feel about facing Jade Cargill for the WWE Women's Championship? Rhea Ripley says it's been a whirlwind few days. Losing the Women's Tag Team Championships on SmackDown sucks. Rhea Ripley says Io Sky has been so many different things for her. She's been Rhea Ripley's opponent and tag partner, but most importantly, her best friend. Rhea Ripley thanks Io Sky for always supporting her and standing by her. Rhea Ripley told her face. Rhea Ripley thanks Io Sky for always supporting her and standing by her. Rhea Ripley hold her face as she thanks her for pulling her out of a dark situation. Io Sky says Rhea Ripley did the same for her. Io Sky says Rhea Ripley won the Elimination Chamber and showed why mommy is always on top. Io Sky says she'll be okay on Raw. Rhea Ripley has to handle her business and win the WWE Women's Championship at WrestleMania 42. They hug as Rhea Ripley smiles broadly. Rhea Ripley says she will do it for Io Sky. Rhea Ripley tells Io Sky to hold down Raw for her because this Friday she has the camera come close. Rhea Ripley says she'll be seeing Jade Cargill face to face on SmackDown this Friday. Comes WrestleMania 42, she will be leaving as your new WWE Women's Championship. Rhea Ripley and Io Sky hug again. But like I said, Jade Cargill's title reign has been boring, and that's all I gotta say. Alright. Next week on Raw, WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship No More Contenders Gauntlet match with Cora Rodriguez versus Asuka versus RB9 versus Io Sky versus Bayley versus Lyra Kira. Over Family versus Rusev. They should have do Over Family versus Brock Lesnar. Now that match that has everybody now that match caught my attention. I want to see Over Family versus Brock Lesnar. That would be a good match between Over Family and Brock Lesnar. I know everybody wants to see that match too. But anyway, let's move on. So we get the WWE Intercontinental Championship match. Penta versus Dirty Dominic Mysterio are coming by the Judgment Day, Finn Balor and JD McDonough. And this match right here, I ain't gonna lie to you, but this match right here, it was pretty good. But I'm glad Penta got his moment. This is Dirty Dominic Mysterio's first time defending the WWE Intercontinental Championship since winning it from John Cena at Survivor Series in November 2025. Mysterio's AAA Mega Champion will not be on the line. The bell rings and they circle the ring. Penta applies a waist lock, but Dominic Mysterio does a standing switch. Penta does a standing switch, but Dominic Mysterio elbows out. Dominic Mysterio hits the ropes, so Penta super kicks him. Dominic Mysterio responds with a super kick. Penta hits Dominic Mysterio with their Hurricanrana that sends him out of the ring. Penta sets up for a dive, but Dominic Mysterio super kicks him out of the ring. Dominic Mysterio goes for a suicide dive, but Penta kicks him in the face. Penta knocks Dominic Mysterio out of the ring and hits the ropes. Cornhillo. Alright, so we go to commercial break. Back from the break, we see Dominic Mysterio punching away at Penta. Penta avoids a slingshot somersault senton. Penta hits a pair of clotheslines before kicking him in the legs and hitting an inverted sling blade. Penta hits a snapmare and kicks him in the head for a 2 count. Dominic Mysterio avoids a strike and hits a mullet old metallic for a near fall. Dominic Mysterio gets up and looks at the crowd. Dominic Mysterio hooks Penta head and sets up for the 3 amigos. 1 amigo, 2 amigos. Penta counters with the vertical suplex. Dominic Mysterio boots Penta back and goes to the second rope, but Penta kicks him and climbs the ropes, but Dominic Mysterio knocks him to the apron. Dominic Mysterio kicks him back and hits a DDT on the apron. Dominic Mysterio rolls him into the ring for a near fall. Dominic Mysterio pulls Penta up and punches him. Penta responds with a strike. Dominic Mysterio knees him and sends him into the ropes, but he lowers his head and eats a kick. Dominic Mysterio quickly drops him to the apron and hits him with a forearm. Dominic Mysterio connects with a springboard crossbody plancha. Dominic Mysterio ties him up and hits a running crossbody block over the barricade. So we go to commercial break. We return from the break to see Penta. We return from the break to see Penta hit a crossbody block. Penta kicks Dominic Mysterio down and hits a springboard slingshot corner drop kick for a near fall. Dominic Mysterio starts fighting back and goes for a 10 punches, but Penta bends his head low. Penta hits a super kick. Dominic Mysterio reverses a whip, but Penta hits a slingshot backstabber. When Dominic's shoulder pulls off the mat, Penta powers him down and picks up a 2 count. Penta sets up for a Mexican destroyer, but Dominic Mysterio catches him with a Mochoku drop for a near fall. Dominic Mysterio drop kicks him into position and hits a 619. Dominic Mysterio goes to the top rope for a dive, but Penta boots him. Penta hits the sacrifice followed by a Penta driver. 1-2. Dominic Mysterio kicks out. Penta cannot believe it. Penta stomps away at Dominic Mysterio until the referee forcibly backs him up. Penta gets the crowd going and chops Dominic Mysterio. Penta sends high sends him into the corner and hits a shoulder thrust. Penta tries again, but he hits a ring post. but he hits the ring post with his shoulder when Dominic Mysterio moves. Penta screams that his shoulder is hurt. Dominic Mysterio tells JD Madonna to get the ring bell hammer. Finn Balor runs interference to take the hammer away, saying Dominic Mysterio mentions he wants to do this by himself. Penta then takes Finn Balor and JD Madonna out on a top con hilo. Penta gets on the apron and kicks Dominic Mysterio back. Penta goes for a Mexican Destroyer, but Dominic Mysterio drops him into a position. Penta avoids a 619 and hits a Mexican Destroyer 1-2-3. The winner by pinfall and new WWE Intercontinental Champion Penta. Thank God Penta took the Intercontinental Championship off of Dirty Dominic Mysterio. I might as well say this was a good match in my opinion. That's all I gotta say. I chanced him to a pretty good match, but this was a good match in my opinion. And Penta finally got his moment, and that's all I gotta say. Alright. Penta celebrates with the WWE Intercontinental Championship as Protagonist goes off. My thoughts, absolutely awesome moment for Penta. It seems like the Judgment Day is getting closer and closer to impulsing. At the very least, Finn Balor should be attacked soon. That feels like a WrestleMania 42 program. Replay on the Elimination Chamber post show. SmackDown General Manager Nick Aldis announced that Drew McIntyre will defend the undisputed WWE Championship against Cody Rhodes this Friday on SmackDown. You know Drew McIntyre is dropping the title on SmackDown to Cody Rhodes. Drew McIntyre then got in Nick Aldis' face. Roman Reigns makes his way to the ring for the first time in 1 month. So we go to commercial break. So, you mean to tell me that Cody Rhodes loses the Elimination Chamber and he gets rewarded with the rematch against Drew McIntyre for the undisputed WWE Champion? But I'm glad Randy Orton won though. So this should have been a triple threat match between Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, and Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania 42. I wouldn't mind it. But they doing Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre, which is Drew McIntyre will drop the title back to Cody Rhodes. And that's all I gotta say. And this was a good segment right here. Roman Reigns addresses facing CM Punk at WrestleMania 42. This was a good segment right here. Roman Reigns concludes his entrance. A loud OTC chant fires up. Roman Reigns says, Indianapolis acknowledged me, so I gotta throw them ones up. I acknowledge Roman Reigns. And mark my words, Roman Reigns is going to take the World Heavyweight Championship off of CM Punk at WrestleMania 42, Night 2. Watch I tell you, and it's going to happen. World Heavyweight Champion CM Punk makes his way to the ring to a huge reception. The crowd loudly sings his song. Roman Reigns isn't happy to see CM Punk. CM Punk gets in the ring smiling. A CM Punk chant fires up. CM Punk asks why Roman Reigns is mean, mugging him. This is less of an interruption and more of CM Punk's feeding Roman Reigns' ego. CM Punk acknowledges Roman Reigns, but he hopes that isn't all Roman Reigns is here to do. He hopes that isn't all Roman. He hopes that isn't all Roman Reigns here to do. He hopes that they are not wasting one of Roman Reigns' dates on that. It could have been a tweet. Roman Reigns asks, "Did my tweet hurt your feelings, Phil?" CM Punk seems a little sensitive for a champion. He got thin skin. CM Punk says Roman Reigns' tweet didn't hurt his feelings. CM Punk doesn't get mad and hold grudges about things people say about him on podcasts. Roman Reigns' tweet is accurate because he is tired. CM Punk says it's a good thing. This is a good thing I got these bags under my eyes through because for 7 weeks I gotta carry your he said I gotta carry your BS all the way to WrestleMania 42. CM Punk then asks if it's great to be alive in Indianapolis on a Monday night or what. They are on the road to WrestleMania 42 and the first stop is Indianapolis. They have history. This is where the Shield debuted, and CM Punk brought Roman Reigns to the dance. Roman Reigns has a correction because He brought the other two, which is Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose, not him. CM Punk says he didn't pick Roman Reigns, but Roman Reigns picked him. Now they're heading to the main event of WrestleMania 42 in Las Vegas. If you ask Indianapolis, CM Punk has already won. The last time they were face to face in the ring, Roman Reigns told CM Punk he headed him. CM Punk has him right where he wants him. CM Punk made Roman Reigns emotional lady. CM Punk is in Roman Reigns' empty head and under his skin. Roman Reigns' skin is translucent. CM Punk can see right through him. Roman Reigns says CM Punk is right. He does hate CM Punk. This is what Phil is missing if CM Punk doesn't have the title. CM Punk will be indifferent to him. CM Punk wouldn't exist or be on his radar. They brought CM Punk back to entertain the 30 to 40 years old virgins who live with their mom and dad. They brought CM Punk back to sell a few t-shirts and maybe draw a house in Chicago. They didn't bring him back to be champion. That's too much responsibility for CM Punk. That's about his pay grade. They can't trust Phil. Phil is a liar and has led to all people. CM Punk has people thinking he's having a good time here. And it's a locker room veteran and leader. CM Punk can lie about loving all the tours and enjoying hanging out with his cousin. Still they tell Roman Reigns about all of CM Punk's and moaning. CM Punk isn't fit to be champion. Roman Reigns says, You're not CM Punk. You're just a punk. You know what? Punk, you know what to me. It says at WrestleMania, this backup plan ends. When Roman Reigns wins the championship, he'll put CM Punk on one of those John Cena retirement tours. They max him out and make sure as much money as they can. Next, he'll send CM Punk to NXT to teach the next generation how to do what they do. Then CM Punk will sends them up to him. The tribal chief will smash them all. Roman Reigns goes to walk away, but CM Punk turns him around. CM Punk is incredulous that he is walking away from him. CM Punk says, you just said a bunch of and we gotta cover it all. CM Punk wonders who does have some extra Samoan goblins. Roman Reigns is all alone. There's no more Shield or Wise Men. CM Punk took the Wise Men away from Roman Reigns. CM Punk loves moments like this because it illustrates Roman Reigns' entire career. CM Punk is the champ. Roman Reigns is the main event of WrestleMania 42, not just because he won the Royal Rumble, but because CM Punk is the main event. CM Punk is on Netflix. This is his show. CM Punk runs things here. CM Punk says he's in the locker room, hanging out with Roman Reigns' cousins. Roman Reigns is all alone and can't get things done when he's by himself. Roman Reigns can hate him all he wants. CM Punk doesn't care if he loves him. CM Punk won't let Roman Reigns disrespect him. Roman Reigns thinks he's going to retire CM Punk, but now he's just made the list. Roman Reigns went from getting beaten at WrestleMania. CM Punk is going to bury him. CM Punk says, and then you won't be alone anymore because I'm going to bury you next to your father. And CM Punk storms off and Roman Reigns looks furious. Roman Reigns paces in the ring and puts his head down as the show comes to an end. when CM Punk says when CM Punk says and then when CM Punk says and then you won't be alone anymore because I'm gonna bury you next to your father, I would have crashed out right there. If CM Punk says I'm going to bury you next to your father, I would have crashed out right there. It says CM Punk storms off and Roman Reigns looks furious. Roman Reigns paces in the ring and puts his head down as the show comes to an end. This was a very good promo by this was a very good segment by CM Punk and Roman Reigns. This was deep. But I would have crashed out. If I was Roman Reigns, I would have crashed out right there. Mike Starr's strong segment to close the show. These promos battles with CM Punk and Roman Reigns are money, which is I agree. They feel personal and real, which makes all the difference. It's a story that kind of writes itself, which is great because the company is creatively on a downside at the moment. On this show, it felt like they're punching up again and trying for a hard reset or some things that weren't working. We'll see how it shakes out in the weeks to come. I'm surprised Triple H doesn't tweet out that tonight is a new era, because this felt different and much more urgent than what we've been seeing from them lately. What better time than WrestleMania 42 to try to right the ship. Alright, so let me read you guys the quick match results. The Reign General Gunther defeated Dragon Lee in a submission. The original Grand Americana defeated Real Americana by pinfall. Raw Tag Team Champion Jimmy Uso defeated Austin Theory by disqualification. Penta defeated Dirty Dominic Mysterio to become your new WWE Intercontinental Champion. And WWE Raw goes off the air. Alright, let me get my odds span if I think about WWE Raw. Now, WWE Raw was a decent show for what it was, and I give this show a 5 out of 10. If you guys enjoy my WWE Raw review on highlights, make sure you guys please watch the entire video from all the way from the beginning all towards the end. Hit that like button, subscribe to my channel for more wrestling content because I'm on the road to 2K before the end of April. Follow my social media down below in the description, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for my WWE NXT review on highlights. Make sure you guys go check out my WWE Elimination Chamber review on highlights. And go check out my WWE SmackDown review on highlights as well. And also go check out my AEW Dynamite review on highlights out there on the channel. I want you guys to have a great night. Stay safe and always stay positive. Kept your crew, kept your kings, kept your club. Too sweet. I'm out of here. Gang. Mwah. Bang. Too sweet. Gang. And I'll see you guys on my upcoming world premiere for my WWE Raw review on highlights at around 5 o'clock a.m. right here on my YouTube channel. So stay too sweet. And I'm out of here. Gang. Mwah. Bang. Too sweet. Gang. And like I said before, when WWE 2K27 comes out next year, I guarantee you that Dan House is going to be a pre-order bonus. Watch, I tell you, I'm going to be the first one to call it. But anyway, I'm just speaking facts. So stay too sweet, and I'm out of here. Gang.